My name is Emily Kincer, and I'm a special education teacher at Letcher County Central High School. I teach grades 9th through 12th. I collaborate in geometry courses and Algebra 2 classes.
And I'm Tyler Branham. I'm a special education teacher at Pikeville High School in the Pikeville Independent School District. I teach grades 7 through 12.
Now, we know that in a general sense that micro-credentials are personalized professional learning opportunities. Could each of you weigh in one at a time, please, on how you define micro-credentials?
So for me, how I define a micro-credential is a way for a professional to demonstrate knowledge and experience on a given skill through various platforms. So that might be including a lesson plan that they're videoing and sending to us, the actual lesson plan format, some way to show that they understand the skill and the knowledge, and a way that, and also that they know how to apply that into the classroom or into their professional setting.
Very good. And Tyler?
For me, a micro-credential is a personalized, hands-on, relevant approach to professional development.
Excellent. Now, each of you can weigh in here again on what interested you about this project, and then kind of introduce what your project's going to be.
So our project is going to be looking at how we're delivering in this virtual and hybrid setting of school accommodations to our students. So for me, the biggest thing whenever I see this as an impact for my kids is taking the content they're giving, regardless of the platform that they're in, and knowing the accommodations they have and the accommodations they can use based off of where they're at, whether they're virtual, and that means that they're strictly online or they're offline using a flash drive, whatever your district might have, or if you are hybrid and you're in the building a couple of days a week and then you're doing work outside of the building. So just being able to have those there for them, and also educate teachers on the different options that they have for how to apply these properly to their kids.
Yeah, I just think that it's a very needed skill at this time in the current climate that educators are in, whether delivering instruction virtually or in a hybrid environment. There's a lot of teachers, I'm sure, who are struggling right now, including myself, to be able to provide appropriate accommodations for their students. And so I think that, focusing in on this micro-credential in delivering virtual accommodations would be just a very useful tool to have in your tool belt as a teacher.
That's a perfect segue into our next item, and that is, how do you guys feel like this is going to impact professional practice, both for yourself and your colleagues?
For me, whenever I look at that for myself, I really look at the assignment first and then see, okay, what can we do? What is best for, let's say, a reader? What are the options that we have? Is it a video? Is it using a CAMI document? There's so many things that is an option that we may not necessarily see. But also for my colleagues that aren't just special education teachers, but also regular education teachers and instructional aides, having that toolbox that they have to, utilize, and all these options that they can pull out. So that's a really big thing, and not just, virtual learning in this situation. Whenever we are back to normal everyday life and everyday school, they can use these things into, years and years and years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, and I think that just, not limiting our accommodations delivery to a one-size-fits-all, especially during this current climate, because maybe you've been limited by technology or the inability to deliver an appropriate accommodation because of our situation. Maybe through the research that we're going to do and the providing of this professional development, we'll be able to find some ways to help teachers deliver appropriate accommodation services to students receiving those. Also, I think it's going to provide an opportunity for teachers to increase their knowledge and skills in delivering accommodations in multiple ways and multiple platforms.
Well, certainly I see it as a plus. And so how do you see this impacting student outcomes?
For me, where I work at the high school, a big thing, once we get into high school is transition and what we want to do after high school and really looking at that next step. A lot of self-advocacy, I think, is going to come out of this, and them identifying that this is the accommodations I get and how can I, what is the best way that I can help myself. And not that the teachers aren't going to provide that, but, taking it that step further and, having them be accountable for that. So I think that's going to be a big thing for my kids, is just learning how to, take what I'm getting and use it to my advantage, because they do get that and they have it for a reason.
I agree. I thought that's an excellent answer. I think one of the things I wrote down was independence. It's helping these students become as independent as possible for life after high school. I also wrote just improving knowledge and skills, but also increasing their access to the general curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
And you hit on something there, Tyler. We realize what big jobs special education teachers have, what big jobs regular education teachers have, and the progress monitoring that goes into that. But it's also, a twofold process for special ed teachers as we seek to attack academic deficiencies and close gaps. We also want to keep in mind that we have standards-based IEPs in Kentucky, and we want to provide access through these accommodations. And we want to really be able to let the student demonstrate for us what they know, devoid of those barriers. And so very, very great session here. And, we look forward to diving into this research and taking a deeper dive into all of this information about accommodations for students with disabilities, and also how that might impact students and teachers. Thank you all so much.